Hi guys, welcome back. Thanks again for watching. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. We review sunscreen, skincare, makeup, whatever kind of tickles my fancy, which these days is a lot. And my bank account feels that. If you are new, please subscribe below. If you are old, give it a like. If you're new, also give it a like. And let's jump into this because I've got a lot to say. This is a new sunscreen. I waited, I think it was like 6 months to get this because they had to do a pre-order, and then because of all like shipping delays and a lot of things I'm sure that were out of their control, it got delayed even further. So I finally got this product in December. Oh, and then I moved, and so it had to be like forwarded to my new address, so it did take longer even then, but that's not their fault at all, that's on me. So anyway, if you could not tell, we are reviewing, and by we I mean me, the Prunier Plumscreen. This is an SPF 31 from the brand Prunier, which if you haven't ever heard of them, they are an organic farm out in California that primarily produces plum seed oil, which is one of my absolute very favorite oils. I'm a skincare formulator myself, and plum seed oil is just chef's kiss, spectacular. That's actually kind of how I found it. You don't want that whole long story, but I have tried their plum seed oil and it's spectacular. I think it's incredibly overpriced because, they have their reasons, and I will go more into that later, but it is organic and it is sustainably farmed. So I do understand those things do increase the price of things, but they also, I think, gouge people, and that's just my opinion. If you disagree, that's fine. But I know just from like sourcing things myself, it does not cost as much as they charge you. So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna be reviewing this today. I'm not gonna be talking about the plum seed oil, just the Plumscreen, which is a sunscreen. So let's jump into that right now. So Prunier retails for $78. Doll hairs, wow. But you do get 2 fluid ounces or 60 milliliters. That comes to $39 for 1 ounce, which is, it's obviously very expensive, but it's not even as expensive as some of the Supergoop sunscreens, which I would say are kind of some of the higher end ones that I've reviewed and a lot of people are aware of. It's expensive, but you do get 2 fluid ounces, which is kind of a plus, I would say. Price-wise, okay, there we have it. I just realized my neck is so much more tan than my face. I have been using this, where is it? U-Tan. It's like a tanning water. And I put it on my face and my neck, but I wash my face way more. I wash my neck, I guess, but yeah, I should work on that. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is the sunscreen. And as you can see, this is actually a pretty spectacular mineral sunscreen in terms of ease of application, white cast. It is hard to tell right now just because like I just said, my face is typically whiter than my body. So right now it does look kind of like casty, but I can assure you that it doesn't really have a cast. Now, if you do want to find where the cast is, just look at your eyebrows and look at your hairline. Like, that's where it's going to show up. But overall, I would say it's a very minimal cast in terms of like, I tried other mineral sunscreens where it's just like ghost faced. So very initial reaction of like application, that's what it looks like to me. Now you have SPF 31, which is an interesting number. I don't mind that. That just shows that that's actually what the FDA approved. If it did show 31 SPF protection, then why not put it on there? But that said, it only has 4.7% zinc oxide, and they say it's non-nano. Okay, whatever. But that to me is very low. I don't typically go for sunscreens that have that, because even if that does truly mean that it has a 31 SPF protection, which they can't lie about, well, brands have, and not usually intentionally, but to me it still feels a little low. This is an indoor sunscreen for me. This is one where maybe you're going to the office, you're running errands, but you're not out in the sun all day. I would not reach for this if you need high protection, kind of long lasting. It's not water or sweat proof. And part of the reason that I say that is because I do want to see a higher active ingredient percentage to really get you that full protection. And I mean, it is only SPF 31. Some of the higher sunscreens obviously are going to have something like SPF 50 or even 40. So 30 is a pretty like minimal SPF protection, and I would say it's just something I would recommend to people who aren't going to be outside a lot. But that's just me. Now, in terms of scent, there is a scent, and it's kind of one of those things you either love it or you hate it. And that is because it's from plum seed oil and plum seed extract. Me personally, I love the smell of plums. It smells like marzipan or almond kind of, but I know a lot of people do not like it at all, my mom included. So it's just kind of a personal preference, but it's not an artificial scent. It is 100% from the oil. If that is something that is important to you, keep that in mind. We all want to know about the cast. Because it is a mineral sunscreen, that is kind of like one of the top questions that people ask, and for good reason. You obviously don't want a sunscreen that's going to make you look like Casper the Ghost. And I would say that this one is actually one of the better mineral sunscreens that I've tried. That said, it's because it has 4.7% zinc oxide. If I compared it to one that has like 18%, you would see a difference. But a lot of brands have gotten really smart these days where they can make it close to invisible. And I'm thinking of the COTS one, like top of my mind, because that was one of my very favorites from last year. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it here. Wow, this difference is just, I can't stop looking at that. Anyway, it is noticeable. I would say that it's noticeable when you look at, if you get it in your eyebrows, which you should, don't miss that. That area is important too. And then around your hairline, that's where I see it the most. But let's get into some of the ingredients, because I was excited for this because it does have a really stellar ingredient list, and that is somebody who kind of knows about ingredients and how to formulate. We have obviously the star of the show is plum seed oil, and then you also have plum seed extract. You also have glycerin, which is a great humectant. Obviously everyone knows what glycerin is. Cetearyl alcohol, which is a fatty alcohol, very good one. They also have something that's called C-active ZT, which is from Zonaria ternoforti. I have no idea if I said that right, but basically it's a brown seaweed extract, which is supposed to help with blue light protection. Now, if you do a little bit of research, blue light is kind of, I don't know if people like really, if that's a thing. It's one of those things where like it kind of gets you because you're like, well, I'm scared of blue lights. I use my phone and computer all the time, so I want that. I wouldn't say to buy it just for that. Like, if you're using a good high protection sunscreen, you're probably getting enough protection from blue lights as well. But hey, that's just my opinion. If you disagree with me, you're welcome to disagree. Now, the only other thing that I noticed right off the bat was the emulsifier. And this is going to be something that you won't notice necessarily unless you're a formulator, but you might a little bit. Do you ever have a moisturizer where like you put it on and it looks soapy? You know, like sometimes if maybe like your water, maybe if you just got out of the bath or the shower and you have a little bit of moisture on your face and then you put it on and it's just like it takes a while to rub in. That's usually because of the emulsifier that they chose. And for this one, they chose Olive M 1000. I don't know if you actually say Olive M or Olivum. I always in my head say Olive M. I don't think that's true, but whatever, that's not important. And it's a good natural emulsifier, but it leads to soapiness like 100% of the time. I formulated with it in the past. I don't like it. I don't recommend it if you're a formulator. And that's 100%. I mean, I saw it in their ingredient list. That's what they used. So I have noticed when I am rubbing it in, especially around the edges, and that, I think that's just like because I don't have as much room. That's where it can get a little soapy, and it can, if you don't rub it in immediately, it will dry and you'll see like the cast of it. Oh, look, I don't know if you can see it, but I can see like a mustache because I must not have rubbed it in right there. And that is more than anything, it's because that emulsifier is not the best option for a sunscreen with zinc oxide. So that's just me. It's not something that I hate. I don't mind Olive M 1000, but they could have chosen other emulsifiers that would have worked better. So I don't know. And then I think the main other question about this is why does plums and plum seed oil, why does that like equal good protection for a sunscreen? And they don't really give a clear answer to that. I think it's because it's probably proprietary, because they have something called plum superfruit complex, and that is trademarked. So they're saying it's an antioxidant rich formula, which plum seed oil is. And that in combination with zinc oxide and their formula have combined to make this a really strong SPF protection for your face. But they don't say more about it, really. It's kind of like a little PR marketing like gibberish. So take from that what you will. I personally don't mind it at all. I was gonna go hard for this, honestly, because I think it's a pretty pricey product, and I was just kind of skeptical that I would like it at all. But I was more pleasantly surprised by it than I thought, and I have been using quite a bit of it. You can see like the top half of the bottle is already like empty up there. In terms of application and use, I would say it's a great one under things. You can wear it alone. That is, if you, I would say, like have like light to medium skin tone. If you have a darker skin tone, I do think you're gonna have a bit more of a cast. Even though it does rub in very smoothly and easily for a mineral sunscreen, I do still think there is gonna be a little bit of a cast. I guess I can show you on my chest since that is so tan right now. Let's try it out. Also, when you squeeze it out, it's this aluminum packaging, but sometimes, the first time it like exploded everywhere. But even when I do it now and it has less, it still kind of explodes out, which I don't love. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna have to stand up for this. Okay, so it's not terrible, but I can't speak for people with a deeper skin tone, so I just, I can only speak for myself and what I think for lighter skin tones for sure. So as I was saying, under makeup, it works beautifully, and you do get like a nice little glow, which isn't always the case for mineral sunscreens. I wouldn't say that this is a drying sunscreen, and I do think it layers on itself nicely. It layers under products. I think it actually could be for all skin types, because I have kind of like combo skin right now, and in the winter it tends to veer more to the dry side, but I have not found it to be drying. I can retain my moisture throughout the day, so I think it's gonna be a pretty good sunscreen all around. And overall, I don't hate it at all. I wouldn't say it's my favorite by any stretch, and that's just because I don't reach for a SPF with 31, and I don't love that 4.7% zinc oxide, but everything else about it, I'm like, I really like, so. Pleasantly surprised. So good job, Plumscreen, or Le Prunier. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this review. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, be sure to ask below. Make sure to give this video a big ol' like, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.